each D9 team was dispatched to different units. The D9 is dispatched to different units because each unit needs that engineering to enter. So I was under the 162nd Division. So if anybody knows what that is, that's like the division that fought in Gaza. And I was under the 401st Brigade, which is the brigade that fought, and then under the 601st Battalion, which is the combat engineering battalion that fought in this war.
Okay.
And these are the most operational units in the entire, theater in Gaza, in the entire combat theater in Gaza. And there aren't that many companies of D9s. It's not like infantry. We have so many different infantrymen over the years. Only a couple here and there.
What are we talking about in numbers? Like how many bulldozers, how many men?
So I don't know if I could say how many we have. So I don't want to.
In general, yeah.
Before the war, now there's more because we just got
Trump brought 130 new ones?
139, something like that. I don't know what the 39 is. It's a random number. But we had about, 20 D9s in our company. And that's 20 D9s for an entire division. There were a couple of other reservists who came and they had reservist units, but at large it was just our company.
Wow.
And we were all being sent to different battalions. The 46th Battalion, the 52nd, which was tanks and infantry. So I was dispatched to the 52nd Battalion, which is the first battalion that crossed the border. And we were sent to this debriefing. And we were sent to a company called ZAM. ZAM means rage in English. And it's 7th company. And 7th company. And 7th company was a reservist company, which was the all-stars of tanks. So they got this company command, listen, we need you to make just the best unit you can of tanks, of guys who drive tanks and whatever. But you also need D9s. So he asked for and I say this in the most humble of ways. I'm not trying to, I was in the right place at the right time. So, But he needed a team of D9s. And the best team of D9s in the battalion, in the company, was my team. And when we were debriefed, we just knew we were going to get probably the toughest mission. And the company commander tells us that we have the most important mission in the entire army right now. We're the first ones to enter into Gaza.
Wow.
So we look at each other, the D9 commanders, and we're just we know this is a suicide mission. We literally looked at each other and oh my gosh, this is crazy. Now, combat engineering has a saying, combat engineering is always first. And you grew up in it, you were trained in it, but here it is. It's real, it's money time. Here you are, you're about to invade Gaza first. Now, the company commander, he cut the team into two teams. It was the main force and the attacking force. The main force was going to go in first, and the attacking force behind. Attacking force was to protect the main force while they do the work. And in every mission, who goes first? Combat engineering. So that means the D9s are leading the way always. So we had 4 D9s, 2 for the main force, 2 for the attacking force. And I was dispatched to the main force. So the way it works with the D9s is 2 D9s always work together. D9 can never be alone. So it was me and my battle buddy D9. We were the ones that went in first.
And there's 2 soldiers in each.
Yeah, there's
D9?
commander and the D9 operator. The D9 operator can barely see anything. And the D9 commander, he sees just about everything. So he's also a navigator, but he's also an explosive specialist. So he understands what is off in the field, meaning there's a string over there that doesn't look right, or
you're seeing what it is,
or maybe that's a tunnel over there, so you see everything. And the amount of tunnels we found
higher than the driver, more of a vantage point.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's the threat?
Information,
what's the threat to you? Is your D9 is the first D9 coming into Gaza? The war is just beginning. You're one of the literally first soldiers to step foot into Gaza on your D9 as you're plowing in.
Yeah.
What is in your mind? You said this is a suicide mission. Why is that? To me, a D9 seems fairly invincible because it's just
Was
so
there an
massive. It's
element of
armored.
like the unknown too? Like we're not sure
Yeah.
what we're getting into.
So
Like RPGs. I mean, what's the threat? Like
everything let's explain what a D9 is.
I was about to say that.
Right,
Maybe just
'cause-
for people that can't,
what is a D9? Is
people
like
need
a
to
letter and a
visualize
number?
this here.
Is this like a mathematical equation? Right?
We're talking about a big bulldozer.
So
right?
imagine taking like the ultimate doomsday vehicle and like building it to the most extreme and like a zombie plower. That's a D9 bulldozer that the IDF has. What they did was the IDF, they took this bulldozer. A bulldozer is designed to plow land. It's not designed to destroy buildings. The IDF's like, you know what? Maybe we can do it with that. So they took this bulldozer, they Gucci'd it with all this armor and bulletproof windows. And it's designed to purify the land. What do I mean by purify the land? The enemy, especially in Gaza, Lebanon's different terrain, but similar thing. Also Jenin and Shechem. But in Gaza, Hamas used 100% of the infrastructure for terrorism. Mm-hmm. Now, we could send in infantry into a building and look for a terrorist that's in there, but they're going to booby trap the building. It's going to blow up.
right.
So what's an element that prevents that from happening? The D9s. So the D9 goes first. It puts its bucket in the ground, literally into a road, in the ground, whatever it might be, and it starts plowing the ground. And you see explosions while it's happening because they implanted, we're talking civilian areas, urban areas, and in residential areas.
Guys, the incredible Temple Mount Mashiach patch is back in stock, but you don't want to wait long because these things go very, very fast. The most viral product that's come out of Israel since October 7th, 2023 is the Temple Mashiach patch, actually originally created by our good friend Rabbi Ari Abramowitz from the Land of Israel Network. Since October 7th happened, like all of the soldiers that I've seen want this patch on their sleeve and on their uniforms, and it's because the heart of this conflict, and Hamas has said this themselves, is Al-Aqsa, what they call Al-Aqsa, right? Which is the Temple Mount. Their goal is to drive the Jewish people from the very heart of Jerusalem and from the holiest site for the Jewish people, and by the way, it should be for Christians as well, a house of prayer for all nations. This patch is a symbol that as Jews and Christians, we're not only looking for Mashiach, for the Messiah, but we're looking for redemption in Jerusalem, and that's the symbol that the Temple Mount Mashiach patch has. So you guys can get one right now. I definitely recommend you don't wait because these have been out of stock on our store for a while now. We just got a new shipment, but they're going very fast. Get the Temple Mount Mashiach patch. Click the link in the description below.
Just a question: what happens when that happens when you're in there?
So it depends. Obviously, it depends on the mass of the explosive. For the most part, nothing.
It's like you hit a bump.
Yeah, it's a little more intense than a bump, but sometimes it's more than just a bump, and it sometimes
So
takes
how
lives
big
away.
and how heavy are we talking for a D9?
So a D9 is it's 4 meters high. What is that? 20 feet high, something like that.
Yeah, pretty close.
How heavy? I think it weighs like 54 tons, something like that.
And are you and the operator inside a cage, and is it bulletproof?
So we have a
too,
cabin. We call it the cabin. And if you saw the pictures of D9s that we received, they came what we call in the D9 naked, meaning there was no cabin. It just came.
Right.
Because we take the cabin and we completely change it.
Right.
We completely armor the cabin, and then we cage it. We put a cage around, what we call in Hebrew statisti. Why statistic? It's a statistic. It's 50-50. That's a cute way of saying it, but it's not really 50-50. It's more like 90-10. What does that mean? It's designed to prevent RPGs.
That's the main threat.
Right. So if they're firing an RPG, it'll hit the cage and then it'll go up there. Unless it's a more advanced RPG, then it has another warhead, and then
So tell me your personal experiences. You had, not hypothetical, your experience with these threats.
Yeah.
Well, we started talking. You rolling into Gaza.
So
for the
I guess I'll
first
start from
time,
there
yeah.
first.
Right.
So when we entered Gaza, we were literally the first ones to enter. I mean, there was nobody in front of us. Everyone was behind us. And I mean, you look at pictures of Gaza now, it's just crumbs, it's like, it's nothing. It's Lego pieces.
Right.
When we went in, it was a fully built city.
And this is northern Gaza, right?
This is northern Gaza we went through Zikim, so by the ocean in northern Gaza, and it's a fully built place. And I remember when I went in, I said, this place is so beautiful. How could they be so stupid and destroy it. I mean, it's like they pushed the self-destruction button. And I remember the first house to be taken down in Gaza was by my D9. But before we took it down, because we were still in the mindset of October 6th, I had to get on the radio and ask, can we take it down? Like, do we have... And the company commander's like, what are you joking? Like, all the infrastructure has to be taken down. So but we took it down and it's like, whoa, this is actually happening. And it was just like, there was so much adrenaline at the same time. But I want to fast forward to 3 days into the war.
Yeah.
So 3 days into the war, before I do that, there was a mission that we did right before October 27th, which was the day of the invasion. We had to prepare the fields. And we went 3 kilometers in. It was the first time in over 20 years that the IDF went this deep in this part of Gaza. So 20 years you didn't touch the land. Who knows what's going to be there? And we saw everything that the terrorists came with, all the Hamas terrorists came with from October 7th. And I remember it was my first time seeing an RPG like visually. And there was just right by the border, there was an RPG on the Gazan side. And they had their little like buggies, and I don't know where they bought them from. And then there was a Hello Kitty bag, a backpack, children's backpack. And I got on the radio and I said, "There's a Hello Kitty bag here. Like, should we shoot it?" And the company commander's like, "Oh, let it be." And the tanker, he's like, "I'm shooting it." So he shot it and it blew up because there was reports of them bringing children's backpacks with explosives in it and leaving it, so someone can come in. It looks like an innocent bag.
Yeah.
Right.
And we actually saw it there. And that was crazy. After October 27th, I want to fast forward to October 31st. It was night, and in Givati, one of the infantry brigades needed D9. So I raised my hand, I volunteered, and I went. And we spent the entire night, and we were with night vision. I mean, you're operating a bulldozer with night vision, which is awesome. Like, I'm going to be like, that's like the coolest thing ever. But you're looking for a tunnel at night. You're looking for, take the most extreme form of construction and demolition, and that's what the D9 bulldozers are in the IDF. I mean, it's the most extreme form. And we couldn't find the tunnel. And as the sun was rising, this is October 31st, as the sun was rising, and we learned, we were fresh in the battlefield, so we didn't know how Hamas operates. After a few days, a few weeks, we understood how they work. Sunrise and sunset is when they come out and attack. And I don't know if that's like an Islamic thing, but that was when they would come out and do that. So October 31st, as the sun was rising, we heard on the radio that we got into a massive, massive battle with Hamas. One of the terrorists came out of the tunnel, and we heard he has an RPG. Someone on the radio just said, Yeshua RPG has an RPG. And there was just this massive, massive firefight. Till this day, I never heard a crazier firefight. And the Hamas terrorist, he fires the RPG and it hit the Namer APC. Now this was the fourth day of the invasion. And on the radio, we hear 9 killed, 2 wounded. When one of the guys was wounded, succumbed from his wounds and didn't survive. Only 1 man survived. And I think it was the 4th day into this war. Like 10 soldiers to the left of me, and you see everything. And because you're a D9 commander, you have amazing vision because there's armor. It's not a tin can. You have windows, bulletproof windows. So you see just this crazy on the 4th day. And where did he come out from? A tunnel. Where was the tunnel? In a residential area. I mean, it's when I left Gaza and came back to the States, I was so shocked at the lies that were spread.
Right.
The lies of this innocent Gaza, which was far from that.
It's unreal to see the amount, because you're exactly correct. When you see the BBC or you see the CNN or whatever, they're like, but the poor civilians, the civilians is all you hear on the media. Yeah. When of course what you're saying is exactly true, that the messaging and the demonization that they tried to put on the other when they were the demon themselves, operating inside, putting a backpack, the Hello Kitty backpack on the thing to try to kill an innocent civilian in Israel or a soldier in Gaza. Deception.
One of the
is its key.
hostages that was released a couple of weeks ago, she came out and basically said there's 2 million terrorists inside of Gaza.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yep.
would you say that's true? Or-
So I think this was in December. If I'm not, December of 2023. It was a new year. I gotta remember that.
Right.
Even though it's still been October 7th for me since.
Right.
Time hasn't really moved on since. But I was in a house on the beach, fancy, beautiful, like mansion style house, 5-floor villa, incredible. And a lot of homes like that. And by the way, before we went in, we were debriefed about the poverty in Gaza. We weren't debriefed about the rich lifestyle in Gaza. And I'm telling you, I was shocked about some of the stuff I saw. And we made it to this one house. It was someone who was high up in Hamas, not like Sinwar, but someone who was definitely liked within the Hamas world. And I was fascinated with this library. And I started opening books. And there was this one book about it was a summer camp pamphlet. And I took these books with me. And because I just knew from stories of my grandparents in the Holocaust that someone will deny it. And I have to have proof.
Yeah.
So I took it. And in this book, this 2013 Hamas summer camp book, sounds like a comedy joke, and it's a Hamas summer camp. And keep in mind, this is right before Operation Protective Edge, the last Gaza war, and these kids were my age. And in this pamphlet, in this book, you see them learning how to use AK-47s. They're going to Imam extremist classes and learning about shaheeds and becoming jihadists. And I'm like, and I was so happy I found it.
Right.
Man, because really, I wanted something to really show people that this is not a lie; it's reality. And I took it, and I thought about it when I was there, like, oh my gosh, this guy's 11 years old in 2013 or 2012, whenever it was. I was that age, and
This is who you're fighting.
and this
right
is
now.
exactly who I'm fighting. This is who came and attacked me.
Right.
On October 7th, and now I have to go and fight them. When I was 12, I wasn't in an IDF. That doesn't exist. IDF camp.
No.
But an 11-year-old in 2013, he's one of the Hamas terrorists that invaded on October 7th, most likely.
And in the same library, I found a political cartoon. There was like a piece of a newspaper. It was an anti-West propaganda. We had a picture of the United States, Uncle Sam and BB, shooting at some imam. I'm not sure who it was. And I Google translated the Arabic and was talking about the evil West, the evil America, and the evil Zionist Israel, and it was just. It just was the entire Gaza was just infested with this anti-West ideology.
Prime, it's an honor to have you on the show. We're thank you for your service to the land and people of Israel, and we're in our eyes, you're just a hero. So thanks for all you've done.
Nothing.
Yeah, right. It's a lot, and we're honored to meet you.
Thank you for having me.